Hello, Fordham Hoops fans. I'm Colin Loughran, your WFUV New York Rangers beat reporter, along with Tom Quigley. I've had the privilege of attending games at Madison Square Garden this season, and as we are just a few short weeks away from the halfway mark, as well as the NHL All-Star Game, I have your Broadway Blue Shirts recap. Currently, the Rangers are sitting at the top of the Metropolitan Division. They have a 25-10 record, a whopping 54 points, and are just coming off of a thrilling 3-2 win against the Philadelphia Flyers on Saturday night. Clearly, the 7th Avenue Skaters are in a magnificent place. But how did they get here? To answer that question, we'll have to go all the way back to the very beginning of this NHL season. Entering the campaign, many felt that the Rangers had potential, especially with a new head coach that has been around the block in Gerard Gallant. However, the expectations were for them to merely compete for a trip to the Stanley Cup playoffs, not emerge as a key championship contender. Indeed, key offseason acquisitions such as left wing Ryan Reaves and right wing Barclay Goodrow added an older defensive presence to a roster that was already ripe with young offensive talents like Alexis Lafreniere and Adam Fox. But many wondered if these moves would be counterproductive and ultimately stifle the young Bucks. With all the pomp and circumstance over and done with, it was finally time to play some hockey. After a disappointing 5-1 season opening loss to the Washington Capitals, the Rangers returned to the world's most famous arena in hopes of an awakening. While they may have lost their first home game 3-2 in overtime against a crafty Dallas Stars team, Coach Gallant's post-game words were certainly optimistic and can now be seen as an early sign of what was to come.
Yeah,
to go into this Canada road trip still looking for your first win, is that something at the forefront of your mind? Do you feel like that's something that for the locker room too?
You can't worry about the wins. You got to worry with the way you play. And I really like the way we played tonight. You know, like I said, the first was sort of a wash period, but after that, I thought we played really well. So if you're going in there saying we got to win tomorrow night, we got to play well. And when you play well, you usually win.
And what did you see from Shesterkin tonight?
Yeah, real good, solid goaltender.
What was it like for you coaching your first regular season home game here for the Rangers?
It was fun. No, it was definitely the ceremony before the game. It was really nice, and honoring Roger Gilbert, that was a special night for us for sure. But no, the fans get going here pretty good, and they support your team, and it's a big part of our group. So I was pretty excited to coach this.
Obviously less penalties, but did you overall just feel like things were more controlled and settled for you guys?
Yeah, more controlled and settled to real good word, definitely.
Kreider was talking about how, the chemistry is still coming, and he was kind of joking that in game 3 it's going to all come together. But I guess, what do you look at a certain timeline as when you expect things to start clicking, or?
Expected to start clicking last night. No, it's like I said, we're like every other team. It's early in the season, it's a work in progress. I've seen some real positive stuff tonight, and that's all you can worry about as a coach. You got to keep moving forward. Show them some of the plays that you really liked tonight, and hopefully we'll continue to do that stuff.
That mentioned road trip would prove to be critical for New York as they would sweep the Canadiens, Maple Leafs, Predators, and Senators. Interestingly, the Rangers did not play their best team hockey here or in the games that followed. The growing pains were real, but individuals like good, solid goaltender Igor Shesterkin and team mainstay Chris Kreider helped keep the Rangers afloat. In the months of October and November, Kreider recorded 15 goals and 18 total points. Igor Shesterkin was electric and had a .934 save percentage in this same period of time. November did not look promising early. The Rangers dropped the first 3 games of the month to the Canucks, Oilers, and Flames. There were legitimate questions surrounding the team's ability to defeat elite squads. Further, secondary goaltender Alexander Georgiev struggled greatly, posting a .849 save percentage in the month. And as a whole, the unit was prone to making silly mistakes in the defensive zone. However, as New York's favorite Suns moved deeper into the month of November, they began to come into their own. A sneaky win against the juggernaut Florida Panthers was followed by more solid games, including a 3-2 Garden W over the Montreal Canadiens. After the game, Big Ryan Reaves talked a bit about the coaching adjustments Gallant had made and the strides that his team has made as a whole.
Forgot about them Rangers, huh?
Yeah. So, what's the feeling like in the room right now? Coach, when you guys had that break where you had the 3 practices in a row, Coach talked about wanting to clean some things up. You were winning, but he wanted to clean some things up. It seems like coming out of that, you're still winning, but you're playing better. So, what's the feeling like right now?
I think we're feeling good. I think, just like you said, we were trying to eliminate some of the defensive zone chances. I think we were giving a little bit too much up. Obviously, giving up some late goals, letting them come back into games, losing a few late. Those are things, those are points that we need down the stretch. So, I think we've tightened up our D zone a little bit. Offense is clicking. Guys are going in the net. Goalies are playing great. Just full team game right now.
Times were good, and the points were coming in fast and hot. Memorable moments such as Ryan Lindgren's game winner against the Sabres and Dryden Hunt's broken camera goal in a 5-2 trouncing of the Boston Bruins propelled the Rangers right into the race for the Metro. Bad news eventually did bring the party to a temporary halt. During New York's game on December 3rd against the San Jose Sharks, star goaltender Igor Shesterkin was forced to leave the ice due to an apparent lower body injury. He would have to miss time, and with Alexander Georgiev's slow start net, many, including myself, wondered if the club could weather the storm. Just a day after Igor went down, Georgiev recorded 25 saves and led his team to a 3-2 win against the Chicago Blackhawks. After the game, he spoke about the opportunity to play and the experience of having to come in relief for Shesterkin just one night earlier.
So how'd that feel?
Felt pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did getting the time last game, getting thrown in there, did that help you at all tonight?
Probably yes. Was getting ready to play today before the last game, and definitely helped to play the last 15 minutes. Big moment for the team. Make a few saves and feel good about the win that we got.
We've talked to you before about how it's been tough for you to kind of get going because of the playing time, but now with Shesterkin on injured reserve, you're going to get some more time. So how do you approach that, knowing that you will get a little bit more time than you have so far this season?
Excited for the opportunity. I want to play a lot, want to help the team win games. So focused on one day at a time. Happy when I managed to do the job today. And let's see what happens tomorrow.
Taking things a day at a time certainly did the trick. Georgiev went 3-2 with a .935 save percentage in December. His renaissance ensured that New York would keep pace in the division and never be far behind the Carolina Hurricanes or Washington Capitals. Even better, once Shesterkin did return, it would now seem that him and Georgiev would form a nasty 1-2 punch. This thesis has proved correct. At the time of this report, the New York Rangers have the highest save percentage in the NHL. The end of December would prove to be a trying time off the ice, as the NHL was forced to temporarily shut down due to a surge in COVID-19 cases. But the Rangers knew that once the league came back, so would Igor, right alongside Georgiev. As the club came back from the pause, it was clear that Coach Gallant had also found a line that was truly lethal. Chris Kreider, Mika Zibanejad, and Capo Caco are a combination that has been in the works all season long. Even after an earlier 3-2 overtime loss against the Las Vegas Golden Knights, it was evident that the line was truly effective. On January 2nd of the new year, the newly extended Mika Zibanejad delivered a hat trick for the New York faithful. The Rangers would beat the defending champion Tampa Bay Lightning by a mark of 4-0 in that one. And after the match, Mika was clearly in a jovial mood.
Do you think you were going to have to give the fans their hats back when they challenged that?
I didn't know. I don't really know what the rule is. So I was just hoping that I would slide, and I did. So less embarrassing to grab them all back.
It seems like you've been on the end where you're passing to Chris a lot. Chris has had a lot of goals. He was kind of repaying the favor today? Or?
That was the opposite day today.
Yeah.
Figured first game 2022. Let's flip that. And then, he has that in his game as well. I mean, obviously he's a goal scorer, but I think he makes great passes, and just got to be ready for him. And that was the case today.
You've talked about how when the goals are going in, it just seems like they're going in. It's hard to put your finger on the reasons why. Did today just kind of feel like that?
Yeah, I mean, first one was on the power play. Second one was deflected off their stick, I think. And third one, great pass by Clyde. So it's just, when you're in that kind of momentum, then you seem to make the right decisions of where to go, and the pucks find you, and that's what it did today.
Since the affair against Tampa, the squad has kept on rolling with a 4-2 record. They have had their fair share of struggles with COVID protocols. Both Igor and Coach Gallant have recently missed some time, but both are back and better than ever. That seems to be the story of this season's New York Rangers. Back and better than ever. Through growing pains, injuries, and COVID struggles, they've just kept on pushing all the way to where they currently reside, at the top of the Metropolitan Division. Be sure to follow our WFUV Sports YouTube page for more NHL coverage throughout the season. I'm Colin Loughran, and this has been your New York Rangers update. Go Rams!